Hi everyone, my name's Ben Ryan and I'm a designer, silversmith and jeweller who specialises in producing bespoke products and pieces of public art. I've been really fortunate in my career so far to work on everything from fine jewellery through to bespoke commissions all the way up to interior design projects and large pieces of sculpture. I studied at John Henry Newman School and went on to Buckinghamshire University, but that sort of transition wasn't the most straightforward thing. When I was at JHN, I wanted to do automotive design, always loved design and cars, so it seemed like the perfect route to take. But whilst I was studying at John Henry, one of the teachers, Miss Fuller, was a jeweller, and she introduced us to that whole side of creativity in that industry. And I kind of realised that I really enjoyed it because I had an input all the way from start to finish, from the initial design concept all the way through to the manufacturing and making, and even through to the selling element of it as well. So I had a tough decision to make because through my whole sort of UCAS application, I'd gone down the route of automotive design. I'd been offered some positions at various universities, but kind of realised that I was never going to have that same opportunity in that world, as I'd probably be working as part of a team, maybe refined to a section of an interior. And although that's not a bad thing, I just didn't feel like it was right for me. So I sort of made a brave decision of deferring those offers and going around with my portfolio to try and find a design and metalwork course. So I ended up doing that and accepted a place at Buckinghamshire University. And from there, going to uni, it's obviously a real big thing in anyone's life. I suppose one of the key things I would say is that uni it's also not for everyone. I remember going there into the halls of residence, seeing people move in, say goodbye to their families, and then, a couple of days later, those people weren't there and they had made a tough decision that would have been correct for them not to stay there because it just didn't feel right. So in a way, I've always admired those people who knew that it wasn't right and made that decision. But on the flip side, for me, I really, really enjoyed it, and it gives you the headspace and the chance to, I suppose, be your own boss, run your own life. You don't have your teachers or your parents there, kind of pestering you to do well, which is a really good thing in some ways, providing you can motivate yourself to take those core values that your teachers and parents are always trying to get you to do. So, at uni I saw people who didn't do that and subsequently probably didn't end up doing too well. But then if you have that self-belief and that self-motivation to strive to do well, it kind of is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So after university, I sort of realised that, how can I actually have a career in this field that I've studied in, and I started to look into different postgraduate courses that might be out there. Obviously, if you were going into a role or did a course where you had more of an academic backing, you'd probably just walk straight into a job. But as a creative person, you kind of live by your own designs and how you can manufacture them. So I found a postgraduate course called Bishop's Land Educational Trust, where I went and worked for a year with like-minded people, self-employed people, designing and making my own pieces. But for me, I suppose the moral of that transition was it's an opportunity that leads on to other opportunities. If I hadn't gone to Bishop's Land, I certainly wouldn't be in the position that I am now. Likewise, if I hadn't been to uni. So although sometimes when you're in the moment and you feel, oh, this isn't right for me, or I don't know what I'm doing here, if you persevere with it, another opportunity will arise, and it will probably take you, down the right path to where you want to end up. After I left Bishop's, and I did a further course where I was lucky to be selected as one of 6. I was also fortunate to win a couple of competitions along the way, and it just kind of, everything started to fall into place. So I was really fortunate, but I suppose the key thing with that was I just sort of never gave up and just kept trying to push myself. I know I remember being in the position where you have people giving you careers advice, and it can be really frustrating because you can never replicate someone else's path or career route, but there are elements that you can take from what people say, and even if it's just like one thing and you can take that with you, hopefully that'll be worthwhile having sat there and listened to this video. For me, it's got to be self-motivation. If you strive for perfection, even if you inevitably fall short, like I do all the time, hopefully you're a lot closer to being or producing something that's perfect than you are to if you just sort of wanted to do a quick bodge job. Obviously, this year's been a tough year for everyone with the COVID pandemic, and it's kind of forced everyone to reassess their values and the ways in which they work. I absolutely don't envy anyone that is leaving, say, something like sixth form now or college to either go to university or go and get a job. It's strange times, but I think, being an optimist, hopefully we've only got, hopefully come 2021 things will start to turn around, and there'll be all sorts of new opportunities out there because of this pandemic. It's forced me to reassess family time, spend time with friends and family more, but also diversify the way in which I work, doing more sort of online meetings. I had to try and sell my work via a digital exhibition. It wasn't as successful as the face-to-face, but it was a really good new skill to try, and it's forced me to sort of invest more time into social media and just imagery in general, making sure that any products I make are shot well, look nice and crisp on my website. But I think everyone is learning throughout this whole period, so there's no right or wrong answer with it all. I think anyone that's feeling apprehensive about maybe going to uni or going into the world of work, I would just say one thing that I always remember from school is that actually studying at college or sixth form can be really stressful. You have to know so much about so many different subjects depending on how many that you're doing, and although I can't speak for everyone, but I actually found that in a way going to university was less stressful because I only had to focus on a couple of areas. Obviously I had to live by myself and everything, which was fine, but I only had one subject that I really had to focus on rather than 6 or 7, 9 or 10. So I would just bear that in mind. If you're feeling apprehensive, just know that actually your workload is coming down, but it just gives you the opportunity to really excel and push yourself in that one area. Like I said, tough times for everyone this year and probably going into next year, but if I can be of any assistance to anyone, giving them any pointers if you are perhaps thinking about going down a similar sort of creative career route, or even wanting to get involved in jewellery and silversmithing, I'd be more than happy to answer any emails or a phone call from anyone. I do hope this helps, and like I said, just believe in yourself, motivate yourself, and hopefully you will do well. Thank you.